By the end of this video, I think I'm going to convince you guys that you need to go over to the Friends of the Original Constitution and go sign the Declaration of Restoration of the Original Constitution and bring back the form of government that was put into place via the trust of the Constitution to protect our liberties, our pursuit of happiness, to protect our rights. That government that was put into place but has been corrupted and stolen from us a long, long time ago. And you've been turned into persons, and we're going to help you understand why you need to learn a lot more about common law. Alright, welcome to the Freedom Unchained channel. This is going to be an important one for you guys to understand. We're going to talk about the only place where you can actually find the two words, common law, right next to each other in, legal writings. So I have constitutional law, case law, comments, questions. But we're not going to look in the actual book of it. We're just going to go flip to the Constitution. Good old, the 7th Amendment. Amendment number 7. Amendment VII, 1791. Ensued at common law, where the value of controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by jury shall be otherwise re-examined by any capital C court of the United States, capital U, capital S, than according to the rules of the common law. So that's a very important amendment that everyone is missing. But you go look up the meaning of that, go to watch a YouTube video or search the internet, and they will say, the meaning, the importance is that you got the right of a jury. But they miss the two important parts. The one, the identification of a common law, and the distinction or separation of any court of the United States. So they're saying common law and courts of the United States are not one and the same. They're two separate things. So now we understand that there's a court of the United States, and if we remember, the Constitution is a trust. The people are the settlers, the grantors. The government is the trustee. The people, the founding fathers, put property into a trust, our rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Liberty. And they threw in the amendments, like you're allowed to believe what you wish to believe. The religion one. You have the right to free speech. You have the right to bear arms. You have the right to have your rights. Your rights is, a right is the opposite of wrong. So you have many rights. It's pretty much, you can do anything you can do, which is right, until you have done wrong upon another man. That's your rights. We looked up rights the other day, and that's pretty much what it says. Is it moral to do? Then yes, you have the right to do it. But those morals in common law change depending on the micro community that you are interacting with. So if you choose to be a part of a community, like my local church, or my local nudist colony, or my local fisherman's club, or my local Boy Scouts, or my local Freemasons, whatever community I wish to partake in, they have a different standard of morals. So in a country of consent, of freedom and liberty, you're allowed to pick and choose the communities that you wish to interact with. So now let's look up what common law is. It's two different words, no capitalization or dashes, just lower common, lower law. Common law rules, there's the good one. They didn't butcher it either. A rule of law created by and existing at common law. A rules of law existing at common law. That sounds like a pretty good definition. Not the other ones where they're like, common law is the practice of law where we take previous cases from all over the country, because, you know, that's common. The whole country, it's common. So we'll take case law from the United States, and we call that common law. That's how they deceive you guys. It's because you listen to their bullshit. So they have common law here. Here's the bullshit definition. It's kind of not, because it's not assuming it. You're assuming something by when you read this. So I'm sure you guys will assume this one thing right here. Law found in the decisions of the courts rather than in statutes. The courts. Well, you guys think, you know, the courts mean the United States courts, which we distinguished the difference. Anything can have a court. Any community can hold its own court. You guys just need it legally, official, because the government does everything legally and officially. Yeah, because they got control of all your minds, you guys. But as soon as I write something down on paper and put a name to it and call this, this, and that, and then you guys start believing it, it's official. It's the same thing what all governments do. Every single government manipulates your mind to make you guys believe you need to obey. Especially they use the Bible to even pound it into your head even more. They create religion in churches, and the religion churches register with the government. That's an awesome system. So now the government has permission to revoke your license to do business. Well, we threaten you with taxes. So you register your business as a charity, and we won't tax you. But if you just want to do business without the government involvement, we'll tax you because you own taxes. All right, here's common, customary, normal, accepted. The way I do it is common practice. Shared, communal, collective. This is common property. So see how the difference between when you break down the two words that you think are one, like common law, which it's not written to be one word, it's written to be two words. And then you go into a legal dictionary and you look up the word common law, and then they give you a definition of common law, and they say that's a definition of two words, and you guys believe it. But we already know what laws are. Laws can't change. Ever since we've understood science, we understood, you know, the science is there to prove or disprove something. I guess they're more in it to disprove something, a theory that they have. And when they have come to all the options of being able to disprove this theory, then it becomes, you know, becomes closer to a law until someone else can re-examine the experiments and try it over and over again. And then, you know, the more scientists that prove something right or wrong, they get closer to the understanding of the law. So the scientists will, you know, when they get to a conclusion of something, they will express what they think a law is. They don't actually know the 100% truth behind the law, but they're getting closer. As we get more and more developed as mankind, then our science will get more exact, and the simpler laws will be able to, you know, easier to understand. And to follow laws, you don't need to know 100% the whole factual truth behind laws to actually follow the true laws. Like, you can follow gravity all the time. I understand, you know, law of gravity, the law of lift. If I have something to help, you know, bring, like an airplane, the wings help lift. It's the law of, like, lift. Law of cause and effect. All these different laws that are easy to kind of understand. Law of attraction. You raise your positivity and you attract like frequency things that are in the same frequency as you'll attract. So if you're a negative person, you attract negativity. So like all my trolls in the comments, they're loving to attract negativity. So I'm sure they get it all over their life. A hard struggle life because they don't understand the law. So let's recap. Common law is the courts or the law of the people, the beneficiaries of the trust. Okay? The United States courts, anything created by the trust, they create property of the trust to help give the beneficiaries more benefits. So the property of the trust, like persons that they create, that's their property. They can administrate their legal bull junk onto their property to administrate better for the beneficiaries, which is the man or woman, same thing. So the man is the beneficiary. They can hold their court. Court isn't a building that you go in and there's a judge. Court is just, I bring a claim into the public that a man has done me wrong. We can hold court wherever we wish to do in public. A lot of them used to do it in the middle of town, the town square. But then, all this extra money from extorting people for taxes, they figured, let's go build some courthouses. That'll help us indoctrinate them all. And they'll think court is just really one thing, instead of actually understanding that court is a process of finding the truth. I bring a claim. This man's done me wrong. Let's figure out if my claim is truthful or not. I bring a claim that this gold is mine. I claim this gold. Let's go to court and find out if that's true. If there's another man claiming it's his gold. I claim this is my property. This is my home. This is my farm on this land. The land's not my property, but everything that I've created or possess with title, I claim is mine. Another man, can a man come forward to claim a piece of property that he believes is his? Yes. Then we go to court and we figure out what is right. What is your rights? What is right versus wrong? So everything you'll find in like Black's Law or this fancy little constitutional law book, this is case law for the trustee's part, not the man's part. Man has nothing to do with legal. He's not subject to the jurisdiction of. So why do you think they created the 14th Amendment? After the 13th Amendment, which stated, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Which, if you break that one down, it could get a little fishy. Because existing within the United States, as we know, the United States, is that the trustee part of this? Or is this an actual border around this United States? Or maybe they should have worded that one a little different, like within the states, under contract with the United States of America, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So when in law in America, the jurisdiction ever have to do with a place, unless that's just like the public's property, like public buildings, Washington, D.C., is that the place that's subject to their jurisdiction? So to finish their duking of the American people, they wrote the 14th Amendment, which says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. So the key word there is persons, and the other keyword there, two keywords, is subject to the jurisdiction of. Jurisdiction. So are you subject to the jurisdiction? Well, let's look in the legal dictionary for what they believe jurisdiction means in their, trustee part of the trust. Not the man's part, but in their legalese form. What does the word mean? A term used in several sense. In general sense, the right of the court to adjudicate lawsuits of a certain kind. 2. In specific sense, the right of a court to determine a particular case. In other words, the power of the court over the subject matter of, or the property involved in the case. So the words there are very important. Court, lower C, no specific court. So it could be my court, because once I bring a claim, then it's my court, holding the other man accountable for his rights or his wrongs. And the other keyword is property. There's the keyword property once again. So the power of a court over a subject matter of, or the property involving in. My property, then the power of my court to bring this case and determine the particular case. So just let's be clear. Let's argue this out. Be clear. That's what argue means, is be clear. To make clear. So, administration of justice. So, what we're getting at are words are very important, and you guys just believing everything the government says is where you get trapped in their traps. You take the person on, and you're their property. You're saying that you're their property by being the person. So then you fall under their jurisdiction. Court can be whenever someone decides to bring a claim that is holding court. Any business, entity, other person, any fictional thing can create court, its own court. Like McDonald's can hold its own court. Walmart can hold its own court for its own employees. So I just wanted to get that video out there for you guys, letting you know we actually still have common law in this country. And you didn't even know it was in the Constitution. Probably, right? When was the last time you guys read the 7th Amendment and seen the words common law and actually understood what common law meant? Hope I explained it to you guys well enough. That common law is law of the common people with you are peers of. This is a country of consent. You must consent to be part of a group, a citizen of. You aren't just born into a citizen of something, unless it's a family. You're born into your family. You can be a citizen of your family. And you hold certain rights and obligations to be a citizen of that family. And they can hold court on you at any time if you do wrong against the family. So just because we're born on land and somebody draws a map on a piece of paper and says these are the borders, that does not make you lawfully liable to take the position that that person or government or thing says that you need to take the position of, or have confused your brains so long and so in depth of a indoctrination that you guys believe you're subject to the jurisdiction of anything that they wish to make you subject to the jurisdiction of. So that's why I'm supporting this Declaration of Restoration. We need to bring back the government we had, the founding of this country, where they protected our liberties. We were the beneficiaries, and they were the trustees, there to serve and protect. Instead, they flipped the whole system on us. Now we're all indoctrinated, and we need to start re-educating people and holding this Constitutional Convention in court to get all of our money back that they've extorted from us for so far too long. We can dissolve the corporate fiction called the United States government, federal government, and we can start all over fresh. We can bring the value of the dollar back where it needs to be. Like 90% probably the value back. It's probably only 1% right now. I guess they just printed another $7 trillion off for some Green New Deal or something. That's just a rumor I heard. But go sign the Declaration of Restoration. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm going to do more videos on that. As that process moves along, it's in its infancy state. But get on board, join the lawsuit, and let's actually learn what the true Constitution means. Because it's a trust, and you're the beneficiary. So stop being the person. Stop being subject to the jurisdiction of the United States corporation. And stand on your freedoms and your liberties that were granted to you by God and now protected via the Constitution, which has been dissolved and destroyed, and let's bring it back. So until next time, I'm going to leave you guys in the love and light of One Infinite Creator. Peace.